All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the official full tour of my boat. Now, it is not finished all the way yet, but I'm pretty happy with it for the time being. And I've got quite a few add-ons here. In fact, it's almost not even recognizable as a stock pond Prowler that I bought for 300 bucks. But anyway, enough jabberboxing. Let's start from the very, very front. And all of these modifications, in case you are interested, will be linked in the description below. I do get a kickback, so it keeps this show afloat at no extra charge to you. Just partnering with Amazon. Thank you so much. All right. Anyway, so I do have, you know what? I'm not even going to include the cord because I don't even like that much. It's not super useful. But we will start right here. Even these are aftermarket. So these are like those Atwood. It's actually this brand. This brand seems to be the theme on this boat. Atwood pull handles from Amazon. All this stuff's from Amazon. But these actually make it way easier for two people to lift, because otherwise your only lift points is on the stern, which is pretty useless. Honestly, I just use those handles to pull the boat up onto the trailer, which is a major benefit. So those are, these things are really cheap. Speaking of things that are cheap, this, I don't really have it screwed down very good. You know, I'm gonna tell you what I have, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I haven't found a better solution. It's a battery-powered navigation lights. So that way you can be safe, and it's just clamp on, because I wasn't sure if I wanted this brand. The light's great, but I need to probably put some Loctite down in there to make it better, but super cheap. And while we're on it, oh, I have one on the stern, the light. Let's see. I believe it's actually in here. Yes. So for 30 bucks, you can literally have the red and blues and the white and be completely safe and legal on the water at prime fishing times. All right, let's see. We got the handles, we got the light. This is an anchor, just a generic anchor. I think this is like a 5-pounder with 50-foot line. You can get that anywhere. I think I got this at Walmart. I do want the clamp-on anchor system, so I'm not going to touch too much on it because this whole situation will be completely different pretty soon. But of course, the main event is this really nice foam, non-skid foam, and it makes the boat quieter when I drop like my water bottles, or my wife drops the anchor, because usually she's up here working anchor. So this is actually a really cheap mod. You just measure, cut the size. This was a little bit tricky. The curves were a little bit tricky, but I just did it in my apartment, and it literally looks about as close to perfect as you can really get, and it's a super cheap mod. And I used the leftover and some spray paint to just kind of make some dry storage that matches the rest of the boat. Got some stuff in there. Let's see. Moving back, let's talk about this. This is a great upgrade. There's just too much gray. I get it. It's not the most functional thing in the world to add all this foam stuff. That's what I thought at first. But once I actually installed it, yes, of course, it looks really good. But like I said, if I drop something, listen to this. Way quieter versus. So when you're fishing, you'll scare the fish just a little bit less. This is another like $25 thing. I only used half of them that came in the package. So if you bought some, trying to make maybe your measurements or cutting right here, I literally just eyeballed it with scissors. And then I cut around the battery tray, right around there. So it's kind of a flush fit. But other than that, we've got the foam, and we've got the foam here. This is actually meant for boats. This is interlocking, like literally home gym interlocking mat. But it works really good, and this is probably one of the most common and cheapest mods. I'm not really gonna include this. This is just a cheap little add-on I don't even use that much. Moving to the back, where things start getting a little bit more wild. All right, so I do have a couple PFDs here. I've got one kind of hiding all the cords for the electronics here, but this is a life jacket that I really like. I just drape it over my battery box, which we'll get to, but it has all sorts of pockets and doohickeys, which makes life really easy. So let's go ahead and move that out of the way. We'll start with the trolling motor. This is a 55-pound thrust saltwater NV series trolling motor. I've had the kayak series, It didn't really work great for me, so I got this one, 46-pound thrust. You know, I like it. It's a trolling motor and it does its job. But that is connected to, in here is just a 55 amp hour, 12 volt lead acid. I want a 100 amp hour lithium, but that is pretty expensive. So I just got the cheap version, and then I got this battery housing, which is really nice. So you can hold that. It tells you high to low, how much range basically you have left, essentially how much power you have left. And they've got breakers for all the ports, so that way none of your technology will get damaged. And I actually run the fish finder off the same thing, just bolted it into there. You have an accessory port here. I call it the cigarette lighter. Plug in whatever. You have a USB port right here. And in fact, we're about to get beached here, so we'll pull up this way a little bit, drive backwards, and continue what we got going on here. So let's see, where should I go next? We'll go ahead and touch on the paddle. I don't like the paddle. I guess I can throw in this. This was like $3. I'm getting a new paddle. This one sucks, it's ugly. I want a big black one, a carbon fiber one, so it's gonna go the whole length there. That'll be nice, but I do have the paddle. And this is just from Walmart, that PFD right here, but that one's not really used. It's not super accessible. Anyway, battery box, definitely a welcome upgrade. Makes connecting, you know, a lot quicker with these plastic wing nuts. You never have to take the battery out. The battery actually stays in here and you charge it through here. So it just makes it look a lot nicer than that nasty battery hanging out. Now the fish finder is probably my favorite modification, period. We're obviously in really shallow water, but it tells you the depth. It shows you the fish, which there's no fish under me because I'm in 1.5 feet of water. It shows you your time, how much voltage you have on your, how much it's taking. And then you've got your water temperature, which is 56. And although it's short sleeves for me today, it's a very warm day. The water is cold here, December in Panama City, Florida. But this is for the money. I mean, you can't really beat it. This was like $100, and I just mounted my transducer to the bottom of the trolling motor. And if you would like a video tutorial on that, that is, I think that's already been posted. Now on the back here, I've got more paracord. Again, doesn't really matter, use whatever you want. I never use those carabiners, but what I really like is these rod holders. So these are clamp-on rod holders. The reason I got so much clamp-on stuff is I wasn't really sure exactly where I wanted everything. But these clamp-ons really do the trick for me. And it was like $37 for two. And they're two-way adjustable. They tilt and then they rotate like this. I've just kind of got them locked in here. This one's kind of sticking up a little bit too much for my liking. But that is... my biggest complaint, in fact, one of my only complaints, was that there was only rod holders up there. The reason I didn't show you those is because those actually came with the boat. And I'm not sure about this, so you can measure your fish, but it's upside down. I think the previous owner did that. It doesn't look that great. Probably will replace it. But other than that, oh my gosh, what I'm sitting on, folks. Go ahead and upgrade yourself some seats. Now, I don't exactly know where the buyer got this from. I haven't been able to find this exact seat on Amazon. It's probably old, so I'll link below the next best thing. Yeah, those hard plastic seats suck. These, way better. And on the back here, I do have a waterproof pouch so I can throw my phone, wallet, keys, and it just stays right on the seat at all times. And of course, I do have another seat with the exact same thing, and it's all the same, but I'm solo today, so I only bring the seat out when I'm with my wife. So the seat is definitely something that's gonna make it feel and look a lot better. And having this nice soft foam right here makes it to where you don't have to, you get a little bit less fatigue because there's some more give under your foot, which is really nice. So definitely the battery box. Let me tell you my favorites and what I would spend money on first if you're looking to upgrade some stuff. I would say the battery box and the fish finder and the rod holders. That's really the most functional things I have on this boat that I really like. Obviously the foam looks really good, and there's also different designs too. There's so many different designs, and I just went with the cheapest one, and it works great. You know, it is a little functional. It keeps things, you know, my phone from sliding around, water bottles, tackle boxes, all that fun stuff. You don't want anything sliding around, and it makes it quieter. But yeah, I really like the rod holders, the fish finder, and like I said, if you'd like a tutorial on how to drill it into plastic, I'm gonna have that on this channel. But this trolling motor, this whole setup gets me going on a good day about, I would say 4 miles an hour. Let's see. I don't think it's reading me my speed right now for some reason. which I'm not exactly sure why. Interesting. Anyway, folks, that is my comprehensive tour of my favorite little mini boat that I take out with myself a lot, my wife a lot. Excuse me. I think that we've covered most things on this boat. This is my first full comprehensive video about, you know, the boat itself and all the things you could get. So make sure you subscribe. We have lots of adventures, lots of fun stuff of us just simply having fun, crab trap, having fun, exploring beautiful Florida. We usually take this thing in the ocean, so if you're interested in seeing this thing in the ocean, stick around. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna see if I can catch me some fish.